Those are the conversations that I have with them. Like, everything is important, everything is urgent, but how urgent? What's your tolerance level? And that's what helps us prioritize things on the product backlog. So in our next sprint planning, we could take that back and say, okay, these, and these things need to happen now. Okay, so here's the process. Team and stakeholders, it's an informal meeting. I often kick off the demos or the sprint reviews and say, this thing looks ugly right now because it's still in development. It's not going to look pretty. It doesn't have the bells and whistles. It's not complete functionality. What we're showing to you is what we developed here. So oftentimes our stakeholders like, this looks ugly. This doesn't look complete. It's not supposed to. It's still in the dev environment, right?
Can we call that an MVP?
No. Look,
Okay.
MVP, so after every sprint, we have a demo. MVP is functionality that we deliver. So it's like a release. But at the sprint level, we're showcasing the small bits and pieces of functionality that we've built.
Okay.
So it's different. So like 5 or 6 sprints worth of work can equal an MVP. 5 or 6 sprints worth of work can equal a release. So I kick off the meeting and I say, this is not pretty. This is not the final functionality. This is what the team has worked on. We show them and then I hand it off to the developers that are walking them through the functionality. Sometimes they have slides to align to their talking points of what they're actually going to show them. They share their screen, they show working functionality to determine what user stories are complete and which aren't. We get lots of feedback. We update the product backlog based on feedback. User stories not complete, plus refinement on requirements, plus new user stories. And then we prioritize the product backlog. Okay. And this is the template that I generally do, like I start the sprint review meetings. This is what Scrum Masters generally should do. They start sprint planning meetings, welcome the stakeholders, product owners, and thank them for attending the meeting. We have an agenda generally of the functionality that we're going to show ahead of it. We present the product increments. The development team presents the demo that have been implemented in the sprint. We open up for feedback either at the end or during the demo while we're showing them the functionality. Product owner or Scrum Master will ask stakeholders for feedback regarding the product that have been delivered. In my case, we don't even have to ask. Like, we show them and we get a whole bunch of hands that go up, and then they just, start to ask questions or start telling us that it needs to look this way or that way or whatever the case may be. So just FYI, we present the backlog. Product owner presents the top things in the product backlog to get feedback on upcoming sprints and solicit feedback. And then we end the meeting. Or if in my scenario, what we generally do is after we do the demo, since us as the project team have chunked up what things need to happen for us to meet the release date and the functionality, we'll say, here are the things that we're working on next. Is there anything else on this list that you think can happen later and we can pull in something else? So that way our stakeholders and team members know what the team is working on in the next 2 weeks.
It's a kind of preparing for the next sprint, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any questions on what a sprint review / demo is? Any questions on what daily stand-ups are? Any questions on sprint planning? These are a few things that we covered today, and then sprint planning we covered last week.